Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Reduce your ping time and get faster speeds when you game at expressvpn.com/funhouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the Funhaus podcast for May 11th, 2021. That's when we're recording this. So obviously, especially considering the stuff we're going to be talking about today, things may have changed extremely dramatically before then. So if you're listening to this in the year 3422, don't come after us for having inaccurate takes on where Doge is at. All right, please. I'd like to introduce my guest this week. Super happy to have these people on board. Let's go ahead and start with Lindsay Washburn.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi,
What's
Lindsay. What's with all those boxes back there?
Nothing. I don't keep
okay.
anything special in there. It's fine.
Okay, all right. Next up, we have Justin and Jelmo.
Howdy.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Very well. Thanks for having me.
Justin, what's up with that couch? You have like a couch there.
Don't mention it. I just put special things in it.
Too many pillows.
Never.
No, not enough pillows.
Never.
And speaking of too many pillows, last but not least, I didn't realize that this is going to be your first time in the remote Funhaus podcast, but I'm excited to have you here, John Holland.
Hey, appreciate you having me here for the first time, and then watch the next time be back in the office or something like that. But I love being here in my room.
Yeah. Look at you in your room. You got, is that a Peloton?
I love being here in my room.
It is. I'm in the cult now. I'm
Nice.
pretentious.
There wasn't the treadmills that they came
Oh, it was
out
killing
there.
everybody.
Yeah, one person got sucked underneath a treadmill, and they were like, "Geez, we probably should have made that now." Because literally every single other treadmill on the planet has a guard that is supposed to prevent. Because when the track goes underneath, it's very strong and it could pull things in. But Peloton was like, "Nah, guards are not cool."
I was on the Reddit for
not
Peloton for like the last month, and there was so much denial about the treadmills killing people and like specifically
really?
kids.
Good.
And then like was it like last week, and they're just like, so by the way, we've got a problem with the treadmills. We've acknowledged it, but it was all denial on the Reddit.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like CrossFit, where sometimes you get the fitness is weird because it's like easier to cultify people. I think because you need to get yourself over like a mental hurdle to be like, this is what I'm going to do every
absolutely.
single day. You know?
Oh, and I gotta get so hype about it. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk to other people who are hype about it. You know.
Yeah,
And
CrossFit
they're
is a real cult.
expensive. So you want to justify, you're like, my $3,000 equipment won't kill my children.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
But then you just replace your child with the
$3,000.
equipment.
But then there's like a scenario where you're like looking at it spinning, like it's on for no reason. Then you're looking at your child playing nearby and you're like, do I step in? It would cause all of this doubt. It's like someone doubting their religion or whatever. Well, we're going to be talking about a bunch of things today. A little preview. We're going to talk a little bit about where Doge is, the state of Doge, which I love because it legitimizes it. We're going to talk about hot dads. That was the topic that I saw on the list, and I said, yep, that's something we want to talk about. We're also going to talk about where Apple is taking its most recent lawsuits with Epic Games. But first, let's jump in to Doge. Is anyone here? You don't have to tell me if you're invested in Doge.
I'm not.
But no? Okay, all right. Well,
I'm a stock market guy.
stock market
Yeah,
guy.
You
I don't mess with crypto.
Okay, no.
You have Doge, Sean?
No, I mean
he
like
said
the real
he's a stock market guy.
Yeah.
Oh, real.
Not
Well,
that
you
crypto
know,
Doge. I'm kidding.
So
Okay,
so
all right.
everyone
I thought
should
it was
take.
called Dogecoin, by the way.
You thought it was Doggy? Oh, right.
I thought it was Dogecoin. Yeah.
So a bunch of people, that's another thing. I guess a bunch of people recently found out that it's Doge. And unless I'm crazy, right? It's Doge. It's Doge.
Yeah, it's
That's what I-
Doge.
Yeah, because the
That's
meme
what I
is the
said.
Doge meme, right?
Soft
Like,
G.
Yeah, because he's a
Long
cute little
O.
guy. But I guess there are a lot of people found out recently. Also take this discussion with a grain of salt, because obviously we all just admitted that we are not crypto people. There are people who are crypto people who know way more about this and can give a much more technical, insightful opinion. But now we've creeped into, this is no longer something in the deep recesses of the internet. It is out there, and that's because it was SNL had Elon Musk as host, and he is the godfather of Dogecoin, which just a little quick thing about Elon Musk for everyone to remember. Yeah. Oh, wow. Is that real? Is that graph real? I guess that you could do that with almost any stock that goes up, but still.
Put the dog on it. Put the Doge on it.
That's funny to know that you can predict that it's going to go up twice, so that way it can make Doge ears. Elon Musk he's essentially the real life Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He just messes with things and he tampers with things, and so he in the past has tweeted his support for Doge, which has driven up the price of it, which, to be clear, I think it started as a joke. Doge began...
It was like a meme currency.
It was a meme currency as stuff like Bitcoin and Ethereum were gaining ground and had actual value in the crypto markets. Doge was this joke thing that people would gift to each other and like, oh, we also have crypto too, it's Doge or whatever. That being said, we live in an era where jokes become the actual real thing.
Yeah.
What do you make boat face? Yeah.
Yeah.
That always happens. You know, remember when you started saying YOLO as a joke and then you said it sincerely like that one time and then you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So that's where
So
we
that's
are
weird.
with Doge. It over the last year, the coin has seen a 20,000% increase in value, hitting a high of 71 cents per Doge as of last Sunday.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything to me. How is it
so
how
you
is
could
it 71
trade
cents?
it.
if
Go
you
ahead,
got it
John.
at the fractional, say you bought like 10,000 when is at its lowest fractional point, which will be like what, still 10 cents worth of Doge, and
Yeah.
now you're almost at $1. You're close to $1 per Doge you own. Now you're
So you paid a dime for 10,000 Doge, and now one Doge is worth 71 cents. So 10,000
that's
times 71 is a huge
100%.
profit. Huge
Yes.
profit. It's a big profit.
100%, yeah. So now do you
so-
have $7 or you have
Got
7?
a lot of Doge.
No, you'd have a lot more than that.
you have 70,000, right?
Something like 10,700. Yeah. You'd have spent
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, you spent a dime and you've made $700. You're right, Lindsay. You're good. But it's also wildly unpredictable. Like, and this goes for the stock market as well. Anything that kind of like skyrockets up, things have to be attributed actual value. You have to determine, especially when you're dealing with currency, what it's actually worth. And this happens with stocks too, where a stock will skyrocket because of some sort of positive headline or whatever. But then ultimately the market goes, but is it actually worth this in a lot of cases? And then it corrects itself. Because Doge is fueled by like memery and maybe a more fun-loving, less financial thing. There are people who are making. I think there is a Doge millionaire out there, or there was. You can have a situation where Elon Musk goes on SNL. The SNL sucks, and then the Doge drops. What was it, like 43%? It dropped 43% in value. Yeah, which if that were like our stock market, would like send people out of the highest window they could find in like the 1920s or whatever. So
it dropped because that episode of SNL sucked, or because he mentioned it?
there's a couple reasons. He has been an advocate for Doge, even though it means nothing to him. Like it's like me saying I'm an advocate for the ant that crawls across like my kitchen floor or whatever. Like, go ant, go. It means nothing to me. And he has wealth far outside of Doge that it doesn't matter to him. But because he spends too much time online, he's been associated with it, and his wealth has been associated with it too. People thought that there would be some sort of maybe announcement, something to coincide. Maybe he was going to do some sort of catalyst. I think the term is a catalyst.
Yeah.
He would say something that would show the inherent value of this thing, which would then cause it to really push even further, up to maybe $1. Maybe one Doge is worth more than $1. Who knows? And it didn't. Not only did it not happen, but he like almost mockingly joked about it on the show.
And did you watch it?
I saw clips from it. I couldn't.
Nobody watched the full thing?
I do watch full episodes.
Twitter
Watched a
has
few clips.
fed me.
Yeah, I do watch
watched
full
the
episodes.
I'm
Do you
sorry.
watch
Lindsay.
SNL regularly?
Yes, I watch it regularly. I usually sit there like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
so
feel
do I.
like, whatever. But I definitely watched this one because I was like, okay, well, I'm seeing memes on Twitter of Wario, of Elon Musk as Wario.
Yeah.
And I had to watch it. So yeah, I did watch it. Yeah, the whole thing.
So yeah, like his mom was involved, and
All the moms were there. It wasn't just Elon Musk's
'Cause
mom.
of
and
Mother's Day,
It was a
yeah.
Mother's Day thing.
Is she lovely?
Oh, somebody said she looks like a supervillain.
oh yeah, because she's got like
Yeah.
tall white hair, right? She
Yeah.
looks cool.
Okay.
Do you think though that Elon Musk is manipulating it because he has like him investing in Doge and announcing it would then increase the value of it, and so he knows that he has this like sway? Like, can he just use it for like his own personal?
I don't think that there's anything that Doge could do that would change the status of his wealth to any significant degree.
He can make his
don't
friends
think-
rich. That's about it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I
guess
mean.
so,
He could get people because like his support of it, he could be like, "Hey, everyone, watch this joke. Do you want to make $1 million?" Like it's just like a cocktail party joke, and so he would buy a bunch of Doge, then just tweet that he did, and then the value of Doge goes up.
We talked before this podcast began about some of the terrible movies I've been watching recently, just for comfort
Yes, we
and
did.
for fun. We don't have to get into it, but one of the other movies I watched recently was Rat Race, and Rat Race begins with a casino owner and a bunch of very wealthy people making just a silly bet about who can drive, 800 miles or something through the desert first. And then while that is transpiring, they always cut back to those wealthy people, and they're all playing all kinds of other silly games. Like they hire a prostitute and they get like some poor guy to like embarrass himself, and then they bet on whether or not she would go through with it or whatever. That's what Elon Musk is. This is a game. I think this is a game to him. I don't think that this would change his wealth. Because again, some people have made money on Doge, but the amount that you would have to make a dent in his wealth it would just be mind-boggling.
I could see him doing it because people have accused him for doing that in the stock market. Like I have Tesla stock, and at one point it was really, really high, and then one day he just decides to tweet, "I think it's too high," and this shit just tanks. It's like, why would you, the person who gets rich from us pumping the price up, say that? And so when you say he's manipulating for Dogecoin, I'm like, I think that's like legit. Like he just wakes up and says, "How can I fuck with people today?"
Yeah, I don't think it's to enhance his wealth. He has so much wealth in so many things that I don't think he could. He's almost untouchable.
True.
He's just
it wouldn't
playing.
be wealth more. He is like, I feel like so much of him is image. So, and like being cool or hip. So like in a way,
Well,
yeah.
so I don't know.
Do we have
you
that
guys-
image of him as Wario that we can throw up while you're talking
We gotta
about him
find
being
that.
cooler?
Yeah. I didn't know. You guys may have already all known this, but I didn't know. And when I was watching it, he says it in his monologue that he is the first person to host who has Asperger's.
He's
and
not.
he like says something about the first person who admitted it or something. He had made that joke or whatever. But I also just didn't know that he had Asperger's. Like I didn't know that was like a thing about him.
I
Is it?
could. It's. I don't think he's ever really talked about. So when I saw him on Joe Rogan's podcast, that was the first time I actually ever heard him speak. I've only ever seen
There
him
it
like doing social media tweets, and so I was like, something's a little.
Yeah,
the
that's
guy's
what
a
I said.
genius-
I've never
The guy's a
watched
genius,
him
but something's a
speak.
little different about him. And I did feel that in the back of my head of like, if it came out that he had some type of somewhere on the spectrum, I would absolutely like be like, okay, yeah. So I guess it kind of confirmed
Yeah.
what I was already suspicious of, because I'd never heard
Yeah.
him speak before. He speaks very,
Yeah.
very slowly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
meticulously.
Yes. I didn't know people didn't like him that much until like these last few years. I always just thought he was just like a really smart dude who just built shit like Iron Man in his basement. But like I would always see people like, oh, fuck Elon Musk and all this other stuff. And I was like, why? What did the guy do? And now I'm kind of like, I guess as I see more and more of him, I'm like, oh, I guess I can see why he might bother you. But I still don't understand like all the real hate. Or is he not a hated person or just a misunderstood person?
He
think he's just
stokes
a-
the flames of things for sure, and I think he's like a supreme capitalist. So if you're there's been a lot of discussion, especially because around the pandemic, he was very lax on several things, and not necessarily. I don't think he ever was like a COVID denier, but was more like, let's get back to work when people were still dying en masse. Yeah. And I think there's been a lot of stuff related to how people are expected to work and the amount people are expected to work in his companies. So.
Yeah, I don't really care for him. I don't really give him much thought. But yeah, I like from what I've seen, because he is so publicized, he just kind of, he always kind of like those actions, like forcing people to come into work and like firing them if they didn't during the pandemic and stuff. Like there was like stuff I was reading about that, and like his whole Twitter rant when those kids were stuck in a cave, it just kind of seemed like he was taking attention onto himself. Like he just kind of, I don't really have sympathy for like capitalist billionaires, but I also don't pay much. I'm not gonna like go around hating on someone that I don't know, but like from what I've seen, he didn't seem that I didn't really care for what I saw of it. But
it's interesting. Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, well, I was just gonna ask a question, and I guess correct me if I'm wrong. I'm actually asking this in all seriousness. Like, isn't that part of being on the spectrum, is like kind of missing social cues and things like that? And I don't. Could it be that? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. I mean,
that could
for
play
sure,
a part in it, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know him personally, but I'm sure if you spoke to Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, they would also be pretty awkward too. I just, for whatever reason, Elon Musk really likes the idea of having a megaphone down to the rest of us, and I think, I don't know, honestly, I don't know what's scarier for me. Cause we're talking, Elon Musk could be like, oh, this is like, I mean, being on SNL is just cause he wants to do it and he doesn't need to do it. Like, it's not furthering his career. He just wants to do it. He doesn't need to be on Twitter at all. He just wants to. He's doing all these things because he wants to, and I think he doesn't sleep. So like, you have to fill your hours. You have to fill your hours with something. But I don't know if that is scarier, like the fact that Elon Musk could tweet something out that could theoretically, there he is. We see him in full Wario gear, living out his dreams. And I don't know if that is scarier, the fact that he could manipulate the lives so easily of everyone else, or Jeff Bezos hidden away in his $500 million yacht, like which has yachts to carry the yacht or whatever, like and you never really hear from him that much. Like, it's like, what's he working on? What manipulations? Because he's manipulating shit too, I guarantee you. And like, but we just don't. Definitely. He just doesn't tweet about it, and it's like, what the fuck is he up to over there? This is one thing I was reading recently, which is that Jeff Bezos has a $500 million yacht, and someone did the math on his current wealth, and it would be like if a household that. A household was like had $75,000 a year, like annual household, it'd be like the same equivalent purchase of that household spending $300 something on something. Like, should we buy this $300 chair? Is the same way he thought about
a $500 million
whether
boat.
or not he should get a $500 million boat that also has other boats that have to go with the boat, because apparently the boat needs support for its boating.
Oh, jeez.
It looks like a big boat.
It's a big old boat, and I had a wonderful experience one time where I hung out with a friend on a boat. It was for Comic-Con, and the Airbnbs were all booked up, and he found out that there's this Airbnb boat thing.
Yeah,
where you can go stay on boats, right? And so he stayed on the boat, and the only catch was that the people who own the boat also have to stay as well, because like they don't trust you.
Right.
And they stayed out of our way, except when we were hanging out with them. But one of the things we were like, oh, why don't you go anywhere? Oh no, we don't take this boat anywhere. Oh, but you have a boat. They're like, no. If we wanted to like take this boat anywhere else, it would cost us like $50,000 in gas. And it wasn't like a huge boat. Like, I think it like had like 3 bedrooms or whatever, which I guess is a big boat. But like, it wasn't like you got on and you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. It was just like, it had a little patio area, and then you went down below and it had 3 small bedrooms, and that was it.
This is a floating house. It's not
It's
a
why that yacht in GTA is always there and never goes anywhere.
Yeah,
Never goes anywhere. Same as GTA.
It's the boat
there.
version of like a Rolex. Like I don't set the time. If I set the time,
yeah.
it's what? No, you just let it sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've had friends who said they want to buy boats, and I'm like, but are you boating it yourself, or are you like
Who are your
having somebody
friends?
else?
I mean, I have friends that say they want to buy all
they
kinds of
dream
things.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they dream.
I don't know
Yeah.
those type of people.
Yeah.
You guys
I mean,
should
I
all
love
watch
the
that.
idea.
I did meet one
sorry.
billionaire, and they do feel it's a weird energy being around them. Like I don't know.
You know
why.
a billionaire?
I know one billionaire. He essentially invented like the shit.
Silent Velcro.
What, teeth. He invented teeth. No, it's like whenever you put your PIN number into something, it's like that. Like he create like that like
Like
numbers. or something.
like an
It's-
encryption or something. Like
I still to this day can't explain really what it is, but he had invested in an esports team, so like we met him when I was working for that team, and it was just like it's weird because I knew he had just like a $30 shirt on, but it felt like a $3,000 shirt. Like I felt like I couldn't touch him at all.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird energy around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that money for just deciding to put the 0 down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just gonna say that you guys should watch that episode of SNL just so you
Okay.
can say that you watched it.
I
That's
saw
all.
some
I mean,
of
I
it.
do
It was
watch-
brutal.
Yeah, I
SNL
do
is
watch
already hard to
SNL.
watch. This was
Yeah.
like double hard.
Weekend Update's funny. Michael Che's.
Yeah, I like Michael
I
Che.
like Michael Che.
That's the best part.
But all right. Well,
shorts.
it's clear we know nothing about the world of the rich. Here we are looking
Good
at them
riddance.
in their high castles and screaming, "Why can't we get on your boat?"
Why Doge? Why?
Yeah, there he is. Why is this image flipped? Why is it Al set?
That's slipped.
But we have some other things that I want to talk about as well, not related at all to Elon Musk, unless you consider him a hot daddy. I guess, would anyone consider Elon Musk a hot daddy?
I mean, is he a
daddy now.
Is he a parent? Oh, he's a
Oh, yeah,
parent.
he is a dad.
He has
Yeah,
like
his
12
child is like
children.
that equation or
No, he has
whatever.
like
But
12
he
kids.
sleeps on his
Oh,
factory
20
floor.
kids?
When does he have time to be? A parent?
He has like an exorbitant amount of children.
Oh, okay. Well, he had that one recent kid. Well, maybe
Yeah.
he's not a hot daddy, but he's definitely a daddy.
He's no. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I feel like this has always been a thing, hot cartoon characters, whether it's hot moms, hot dads, or whatever. But now there's actually conversation going around that hot dads, the dads in cartoons are just too hot. They're just too hot. And this came from
Like distractingly hot.
shockingly, this came from a man, New York Times columnist Kyle Buchanan, who fell in love with the main character's dad, Chief Benja, from Raya and the Last Dragon. And I don't know if we have a photo of. I mean,
I'm looking at it.
it's a hot dude.
at it.
I would say, arguably, though, this movie is just incredibly attractive all around. But yeah, so there he is.
yeah.
There's Chief Benja.
That's some Disney DILF action right there.
Yeah. But now we're saying like too hot is the thing. And I don't know.
We grew up with like Jessica Rabbit and like what was the other and the sexual what was the one from Space
look at
Jam?
King Triton.
King Triton is often considered the sexiest Disney
Yeah,
dad.
look how
I mean,
yoked
he's
he
definitely
is.
older. I'd love to get some of our opinions. His chest is
weird.
Chest is weird.
Yeah.
His pectorals, but I mean, he's older.
He does too many
But yeah.
weighted ab exercises. That's what's wrong with it. They say if you do too much weights on your abs, it like pokes out. I don't know if that's a real thing, but it's what it looks like when I look at that picture.
I think it's Disney capitalizing because for the longest time it was even before Instagram. I think it started on what's the blog? It was Disneyland Dilfs was a blog that just recorded all the hot dads at Disneyland. And so I think Disney realized that there was this endless thirst for dads, and they've now are incorporating that into their films.
Gotcha.
Is this the body you want, James? Though.
I mean, he's built for sure. He may be bulkier than I could ever get. He's definitely got major power lifter energy.
He's a merman, so
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be slender because I guess he has broad shoulders. so you can pierce through the water, but you would think you'd want like a fish type shape. This article, one of the things this article says though is that, you know, King Triton, personality wise, it's not much to worry. He's kind of a bully.
Yeah, he's angry.
He's hot tempered.
Yeah.
He does like, he has a bunch of kids and it's not clear that he gives any of them enough time or attention that they deserve.
Yeah,
So
he learns a hard lesson for sure.
Yeah, this columnist focused a lot on the fact that these new hot dads, they're humble, hot, often rumpled and lived in. Like you searched for a nice looking ex on Facebook and found that he's got a wife, kids, and that certain something, which is a really weird. This sounds like they should have spoken to their therapist as opposed to writing an article about this. I don't know
something.
all what they're referring
The hot
to
dad
here.
complex.
They were on Rule 34 and decided, shit, I got to work still.
Yeah. The other examples that were given were the dad from Onward, which is such a weird example. Wilden Lightfoot, which is
It's like
such
a skinny Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's
they say he looks like John Krasinski, and that's probably more because he has like the one eyebrow raised kind of thing. But it's weird because the whole movie is just the legs of that dad. So like, that's weird.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I'm looking at.
And then the other example they
stretch.
gave is the dad from Inside Out, which is really weird because he seems.
Oh, you know
Burnt
what?
out.
It's the face shape with like kind of that strong angular jaw and like a mustache with scruff, and that's
he
all
looks
that
This
is.
guy just
Adam
has a
Scott.
I'll
type.
break it down for you. Nice eyebrows too. Okay, yes, that's a hot dad.
Okay, so you
Right,
think
Lindsay,
Bill Anderson's a hot
Dilf
dad?
confirmed. Dilf confirmed.
Even with the mustache there? Are
yeah.
mustaches like that back in? Because that feels like a very like
They're very
bygone
hipster vibes. That's what that mustache with scruff is very like hip.
You know that mustache is just full of craft beer.
I've never watched this though and been like, oh, he's hot. But now that I'm like just looking at a Google page full of his images, I'm like, that's a hot dad.
Are
That
there
Riot
other?
Dad was hot.
Oh yeah,
Riot
he's very
Dad's
hot,
definitely
too.
hot.
Yeah, he was like extra. They're flexing the dilfness.
I mean,
Well, there's also Over the Moon. Over the Moon has another hot dad.
is American Dad a hot dad? I mean, he's got the physique.
He's a little. I mean, if we're talking personality, he's a little. Little bit of a right winger for me.
He's like your He's like your boomer
Yeah,
dad. He's not the new generation of hot dad.
What about
He's like
Hank
the-
Hill? Is Hank Hill a hot dad?
No,
Lindsay? Anyone here?
no, because he's too rigid. Like he operates
He's
in
got
a
no-
box and will never get outside of that. And if it doesn't,
Yeah.
like it just panics.
I think Bobby could grow up to be a hot dad because Bobby has a much more open and progressive view of the world, willing to learn and try new things and experience new things.
And old Bobby's probably shredded, like
Oh yeah,
adult
because
Bobby.
he's got the child weight, but I think he'll probably he'll pick up like gymnastics or parkour or something when he's in his teens.
Once he gets out of
Taekwondo.
Texas, he'll be good. Once he gets out of Texas,
yeah?
he'll get that California avocado diet, and he'll lose all those pounds. It'll be good.
Yeah. Lindsay, are you Googling hot? Oh God, what is that?
Oh my god, there's a
that
buff.
is
sexy
disgusting.
Hank Hill.
That is a big old
I
shredded.
just was looking up cartoon dads, just like to look at all the different cartoon dads, and
have
like
you
the
f-
ones that are like comedy based. Do you see the one I put in Discord is Charles Finster? Excuse me, do you guys remember Charles Finster?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Chucky's
Oh
dad.
yeah,
Chucky's dad. Chucky Finster's dad. There's let's see, Mufasa on here, and
yeah, the
Marlin.
cat
Is that
animals.
Nemo's dad? Marlin.
So I think
a
that's
fish.
that's a different category though. I feel like when we're talking
It's
about
just on this-
personified.
Yeah.
animals.
Image of cartoon dads.
Hey, a handsome
Just saying.
lion.
She's got
Well,
you
what about
there.
like Mr. Incredible? Mr. Incredible's he's built, but his
Not my
his
type.
weird shape prevents him
not my
from
type.
actually eating food, because I think he has a underbite that extends beyond his nose, and I think someone did the math and said in real life he'd never be able to actually feed himself.
Eat through a straw.
Yeah, but any other hot dads come to mind?
I can't off the top of my head. I mean, I'm glad that there's hot dads out there because for a long time it was just hot moms.
Yeah.
Lois Griffin is still fine, so it's good that there's there's people out there matching that energy.
Well, I'll say
Yeah,
culturally. Go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say, yeah, I really do think that Disney is capitalizing on the DILF, because I also watched recently with my niece the Godmothered on Disney Plus. Now it's live action, with like Isla Fisher, and but the love interest is a hot dad, a DILF, and like they make it very clear that he's a dad, but also a DILF, also sexy.
I think it's a good change of pace, because we've seen it a lot in the past where the setup is always the the honeymooners sitcom setup, which is the schlub and then the banging hot wife or mom, right? So you have the Flintstones, and you have again honeymooners, you have all these Simpsons, you have all these things where it's like, why is she held to a different attractiveness standard than he is? And also his personality is garbage.
Yeah, and now women are a marketable demographic, and we want the hot dads.
We want the hot dads. So are we going to start getting more shows that have hot dads and schlubby women? That's what I'm curious about.
Bring it. I'm ready to watch the schlubby women with the hot dads.
Yeah,
I'm done. I'm sick of Adam Sandler and Kate Beckinsale. Or whatever ridiculous combo.
Or Adam Sandler and Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Or Adam Sandler. Everyone.
You want some Ricky Ricardo, Lucille Ball in your life?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they were a good combo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were both pretty banging.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to talk. If you think of more dads, if you guys have your own dads, let us know. Because we'd love to look at your dads.
Look at your dads.
But
dad pics.
But we're going to take a quick break for a couple words from our sponsors. The Funhaus podcast is sponsored by Mint Mobile. Years and years of having fine print contracts with wireless providers has sort of conditioned us to always ask, all right, what's the catch? So when I first heard about Mint Mobile's premium wireless service for only $15 a month, my first thought was, sure, but what's the catch? The catch is that there isn't one. What is Mint Mobile's secret sauce? They're the first mobile company to sell online only. No brick and mortar stores means fewer overhead costs for them and fewer mystery fees for you. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And if you're not totally satisfied, it's cool. Mint Mobile has a 7-day money-back guarantee. John Smith, a friend of mine, very close friend, maybe you've heard of him. He actually switched to Mint Mobile and just couldn't imagine going back. He was such a big fan of the service. We would always ask him, how's your service? And he was like, it's better than what I had before. And of course, the amount of money he was saving on his bill was ridiculous. But yeah, like it is possible to find a good deal out there in the world of cellular services. And Mint Mobile is offering that good deal. So to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/dude. That's mintmobile.com/dude. Cut your wireless bill to only $15 a month at mintmobile.com/dude.
This episode is sponsored by Stamps.com. Everyone could use a little extra time and money, am I right? And you can get both by using Stamps.com. Stamps.com lets me mail packages from my own abode, and it also gives me discounted shipping rates with USPS, UPS, and more. It is a must-have, especially whatever side hustle business that you're working on. It's going to help you if you're mailing out invoices, or if you have an Etsy store and you ship orders, or just juggling that hybrid work life. Stamps.com has you covered. Plus, with Stamps.com, you also get discounts of up to 40% off with the USPS and up to 66% off UPS shipping rates. I've used it to send post to Canada. It makes it really easy to not have to calculate shipping rates and things like that, which is part of the battle. So why waste time going to the post office? Go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code DUDE, D-U-D-E, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. Ooh, no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in DUDE. That's Stamps.com, promo code DUDE. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again.
This episode of the Funhaus podcast is also sponsored by Feels. CBD is a natural way to relieve stress, anxiety, pain, and even sleeplessness. And who couldn't use that right now? Feels is a great way to feel better. It's a premium CBD that helps you feel your best. It's hassle-free and delivered directly to your door. Just put a couple drops under your tongue and feel the difference in minutes. I've been using Feels to help me manage my sleeplessness, and it helps with my anxiety, so I'm not constantly worrying about all the little things so much. Feels even has a free CBD hotline where they can help guide you to find the perfect dose, because everyone is different. The Feels customer service team is dedicated to helping you get the best use of your CBD. Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/dude, and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/dude to become a member and get 50% off automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/dude.
Okay, we are back. I have a couple more things that we're going to talk about this week. What about have anyone heard about Apple? Do you guys think Apple's a good company? Do you guys think Apple might be maybe a mean company or something? So this is an example of when two extremely large, wealthy companies aren't on the same page, which I think is like kind of more rare these days. Because like everything's been bought up, so there's only like 7 companies left in the whole world. So for the most part, like I think those 7 companies get together in their secret council and they're like, oh, we've determined that if we do X, Y, or Z, we don't have to compete with each other, and then we can all be extremely rich, right?
Yeah.
But occasionally that doesn't pan out, and there has already been a lengthy, extremely petty court case between Epic Games and Apple. Apple has decided to yet again take the low road. You know, we've heard from them in the past doing a lot of lame stuff about not letting apps on their app store monetize in certain ways or suspending them for suspicious things. And when it boils down to, it's obviously always money, or like trying to strong arm them when other similar app stores don't always do that. Well, most recently, the Cupertino company started trying to claim that Epic's most popular game, which is Fortnite, shockingly, isn't even profitable. It's not profitable. Fortnite doesn't make any money. And I can tell you that it does.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's all it does.
Your doo-doo head. That's what I read. Your face.
Yeah.
Well, was it? Didn't Apple didn't like it because you get Fortnite, but then they can't take a percentage of the sales within Fortnite.
Yeah, so you just download Fortnite for free, but then when you go into the game, you just go into the Fortnite store or whatever. And I think part of this too is I think cross save is an issue, right? Like because you can play Fortnite on everything,
right?
So if you were going to be charged, like if you're playing it on Epic, they don't need to cover additional costs for Apple, so you would always go and get your stuff on the Epic store or whatever. So then they just made it the same, and then Apple's like, hey, wait a minute, we should be getting a cut of that. And they're like, why would we give you a cut of something that we have somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly. Apple wants that sweet Fortnite money.
Yeah.
That isn't profitable.
Yeah.
That sweet non-existent Fortnite.
They want that Fortnite Dogecoin.
They want it. Yeah, they're pay us in Doge. This is a 1-2 punch from Apple in terms of like, kind of claims, because they also set their sights on the newest addition to Epic, which is itch.io. Itch.io? Can we call it itch.io, or do we have to call it itch.io?
I like itch.io.
What is itch.io?
Okay. It's awesome.
So
it's really
It's like a bunch of like little games, right? Like it's kind of like
not necessarily. It's just most of them are because it's like they're mostly independent games, but it's a platform where you can just publish your game. Anyone can publish a game, or even anything, as all sorts of things, mostly games. But what's really cool about it is that was like made by independent game makers for independent game makers, and you can choose, like, unlike a Steam or an Epic, which take a percentage of your sales, Itch, you can choose, like, you could literally give them 0% if you wanted. They just want to be as like purely for the artists as possible. And then so you can choose like what percentage you want to give back to itch. You can have them give to a charity, or you could, you get to choose the slider. You can choose what your game costs. It could be free. And which I think is awesome, because then at the end of the day, it's like maybe there's going to be a few people that are like, no, I want 100% of the profits. But because so many people are just thankful that a fair platform exists, they wind up giving a percentage of their sales naturally back to itch, which so it's a really cool website.
Yeah. And
super cool.
And again, it looks like, if you look at like the front page, it's like a lot of like cool retro style games. Like, again, the style doesn't indicate complexity, but it's not your typical storefront. It's more like niche fun things, and there's a lot of, mostly entirely independent creators and stuff that are making things for this like kind of cool storefront. So Apple decided that this really cool thing that I think most people view as a positive is abhorrent, because they said that they offer adult games, quote, adult games that are, quote, so offensive we cannot speak about them. Which is such a funny thing to do when God of War came out. There's a cutscene, like a QuickTime event where he banged two chicks at the same time. Like, it's such a weird thing to come out and say. I don't know. I mean, Justin, I don't know how much experience you've been in. Have you found, like, I'm sure in here you can find weird stuff, but like something that would make you go, Mother of God, why? Not really. Like, it's it still has like, you can still upload stuff that will probably get taken down if it has content that is illegal. But for the most part, it's like one of the few places where you can Kinky Fight Club.
just exactly. There's gonna always be stuff
to my core, guys.
It's one of those, it's user created stuff. So you're going to have, there will be some stuff that Apple, I'm sure, could cherry pick or whatever. But for the most part, it's like, you can find stuff there that you really can't find other places, because it's so open and because it's user created. So there's like, I don't know, I think it's a good platform for artists, and there's like, especially for new voices. And I know there's like a big amount of like the queer community on there. Like, it's a place where which they don't, stuff like that gets kind of censored, unrightfully so, a lot of the times on these bigger, more corporate platforms. But here it's all independently kind of run and driven. So I feel like there's some really, really great stuff, and like it's a shitty when the big corporations are trying to use it. That one really pissed me off, because I think Itch.io is really, really cool and like really great for independent art, because it's like an open marketplace, and it's kind of
it's also
the
really
artists.
Awesome.
Really weird that we're still at this point with games where we're like trying to say what like the acceptable edge of art is, like, whoa, but it's a video game, you can't do that. It's like, can you not? Like, if you go to LACMA or whatever, and you walk through a gallery, like, you're probably going to see things that push the boundaries just the same. And honestly, like, on Twitter on my phone, like, I'll just be scrolling through, and then there'll be a promoted ad or whatever for a mobile game that is like a tactical mobile game, but the image is just like this huge. I mean, Cody showed us an image for Cloud something earlier, which I guess is a game, and it's like, like this, like, it's a big-breasted woman or whatever, but at least hers are covered. I get served ads on Twitch or Twitter that are like 10 times worse than that. Like, like, my favorites are the ones where it's like, she's pregnant, and then there's a woman behind her, with like a royal woman behind her with like a knife, and you're like, do you keep a secret or do you murder this pregnant woman? And I'm like, what is this game? Like,
I've seen those kinds of ads.
It's a match 3, but it's funny to think that this is what they would come after.
It's Bejeweled.
Like none of, I'm looking at the page now, like nothing on here is pearl clutching at all. Like,
no, it's just another market that they can't regulate, which they don't like, because like Apple likes to control everything and take a cut of everything, and that's kind of like how they built their empire. Like, with iTunes, with the App Store and everything. So it's like it's just like a double. Like there's the in-game purchases of Fortnite, and then there's like an entire marketplace that you literally doesn't take any money from you if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, I mean, I guess kind of a dick move by Epic to, I mean, if you agree to come on my platform, play by my rules, even though they're, you know, I understand like not trying to like double up on things. Like I've bought GTA like 8 times. I wish I didn't have to do that, as far as other developers go. But then as far as Apple goes, like, you have nothing to do with it. It's just nothing to do with you. So like, why even speak on it? And like, what demographic are you trying to get by saying unspeakable things? I don't know who they're trying to target, because it's definitely not us 4 here in this room.
Yeah,
it's like the whole like Dare thing. Like when they tell Dare, like when I went to school in Dare, if in America, it's like where they North America is where they teach you about drugs, and it like made me want to do drugs, like because they like drugs do these unspeakable things. You're like, what's that mean? I want to go see that.
Sounds like a cool little club I want to be a part of.
I think some of it too is that it feels like they're trying to pivot what should be a business suit into a moral suit. Like they're looking for something to make themselves look like not the bad guy in the eyes of the law, right? And so they're pointing at this thing, but I mean, I haven't seen everyone's reaction. I'm sure people will feel differently in all kinds of different places, but like, I'm sure the general consensus is like, this is what you've chosen to like. You're basically telling Kevin Bacon that he's not allowed to dance in this town. Like that's where your moral standpoint is. Like we will fall into disreproach if we allow Kevin Bacon to dance or play a slightly weird game about a love story between like a wolf man and a boy. It's just such a weird situation to get all worked up about. But like you said, I think it ties a lot more to Apple wanting to control things, and this seems like this would give them and their ecosystem a heart attack.
Yeah,
like, what, you let them upload anything you want to,
and they don't have to give you any money? I don't understand.
Yeah.
How much money do you think a company like Apple or any of these big companies, how much money do you think they spend a year in frivolous litigation? Because that's why I initially read this, was just like, you're just going to tie them up in courts and drain their money and see who gives up first. Like, what do you think that budget is for that? Because it seems insane to like, this is where you're going?
Probably
so like, I don't know. I'm sure Apple has it, but I know Google has it. And I had a friend that was doing this, but like, their litigation teams are so big that you can work for them like full time and get a crazy high salary and not have a law degree and just be like a paralegal or a help researcher, because like litigation is such a massive part of what their business is that like, I had a friend that no law degree, but was like making really, really good money working for a major tech company, just helping the lawyers because that's just that's just how they do it. Because putting people into litigation is part of it.
They were like Josh from Clueless.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, I get the reference.
He was working to eventually become a lawyer, but at the time when he and Cher were just highlighting phone calls that were before March 5th or whatever, they were just helping out.
September 5th. September 3rd.
Was it September?
September or something. I don't know.
I got to watch Clueless.
I tried.
You do. It holds up. It's an excellent movie.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing it a bunch when they played it a lot, like towards the latter part of the 90s and early 2000s when it was like always on MTV. But I haven't watched it since, so I've kind of forgotten 90% of the movie, which I think is great because I get to go in with like almost fresh eyes again.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of the scene at the end where they're at the wedding, because every time I'm on TikTok or on Twitter and I see like a new lingo that I'm like, what is this? I feel like Paul Rudd at the end where he goes like, he says like, I think I'm bugging myself. And it's like, he doesn't know what he's saying. And I'm like watching these words and I'm like, that's me. I'm Paul Rudd, the person who's like too old to be like understanding what's going on.
Which is funny when you think that he's what, probably 20?
Shut up.
Yeah.
He's probably
like his character, Josh, is probably 20 because Cher's 18. or something.
No, she's not. She's 16. Didn't she just like?
I know she got her driver's license,
so she could get her. She took her driver's license test.
So she wasn't even a senior in high school.
Yeah. They were 15, and then she turned 16. I think sometime in the like timeline of the film.
She was just a virgin 16. Who couldn't drive.
That was way harsh, Ty.
That was way harsh. Good movie, you know. I was actually one of the movies I considered watching. I was like, this is too good to get onto my movie watch, my current movie queue. But that movie is fantastic. Well, guys, that's all the news that I have for this week to talk about. So I guess we should just wrap it up maybe a little early. Oh, hold on. Cody's messaging me. Something.
What?
Oh my god. Year 2.
Welcome everybody to Mount Up for Morbius Year 2. That's right. We are in the second year of doing this. There is so much to cover this week that we're probably going to go way long, maybe not, to cover in terms of Morbius news and everything related to the world of Morbius. We can't wait for this movie to come out. And speaking of this movie coming out, it has been delayed again. So I think this is number 5 or 6. Morbius has been delayed yet again. Now, again, the reason why we're doing Year 2 for Mount Up for Morbius is because it was supposed to come out last year in May, I think, and it was delayed. It was delayed several times, first to the summer and then again to October, until it was ultimately delayed to the following year and then kicked all the way back again one more year to 2022. So we decided to just follow it through to 2020. But it has been delayed yet again. Never fear, though, folks. It has just been kicked back 1 week. So now it's going to be coming out on the 28th, I believe, of January. And every moment that they have is going to be it's going to just go straight into the film and making it better. John, how familiar are you with Morbius?
I just learned how to spell it, so I think I'm pretty well versed. What is it?
Good. So I'm glad you asked. Morbius is the story of Michael Morbius, a man with a debilitating condition that's slowly killing him. And in his efforts to try and find a cure for this disease and help all of mankind, he has sex with a bat and becomes a living vampire. And he is a spider. He is I would say a third-tier Spider-Man villain who, since Sony doesn't get to do Spider-Man stuff, has to scrape the bottom of the barrel for other things. And what they came up with was Morbius. And so he's going to get his own film. We can thank the success of the first Venom for this. It stars Jared Leto. Someone drilling into my, into my wall.
Yeah.
They're coming for me. But that brings me to my point. This is an extension of the Venom universe. Did you guys see Venom, the first Venom?
I just watched it the other day, so I'm actually familiar with it now. I'm sorry, I really thought you were describing like a plot for an episode of Sunny in Philadelphia, but this is like a real movie.
Oh, this is real. This is very real.
Okay,
this is based on decades and decades of just thorough comic lore, and it's going to come all to a head in this amazing action-packed film that'll probably be mostly at night.
Change my posture to listening now, because
they're going to stick with the bat thing.
So
they're sticking with that one.
Yeah. So the thing is, Sony is creating their own weird Sinister Six cinematic universe. They're like, well, if we can't have Spider-Man movies because Marvel's doing them better and making way more money than we ever could, what if we have the villains? So that's why we have stuff like Venom. And so they're trying to build out this cinematic universe focused on the other things from Spider-Man's world. And so we're going to get Morbius. Who knows what we'll get after that? But did you guys see the new trailer for Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage?
I saw that it exists.
I didn't see.
Come on, guys. Come on. Jesus Christ.
No.
So,
How do you guys have time to watch all this stuff?
Yeah, James is deep in the VU, the Venom universe.
So only John
This is
has
the only
seen.
thing James watches.
Only John has seen Venom. You guys haven't even seen the first Venom, and none of you have seen Venom. The trailer for Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage, starring
with
Tom Hardy
Woody
and Woody
Harrelson. Is he Carnage?
He's Carnage, of course.
Oh, okay, that's pretty great.
Okay, well, this might be... So, as always, to inform our audience and inform you guys about Morbius and get really hyped for this film, I like to play little fun games because I think that's the best way to learn. And so the game this week, it actually... I mean, it would have been beneficial for all of you guys to have seen the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer beforehand. There's no way we can show it here without getting a copyright strike. But essentially, there have been little Easter eggs. I watched it several times, and they put some Easter eggs in the trailer that I think hint at a grander Morbius universe. So I went through the trailer several times, and I started trying to dissect these moments and see, is there something and what does it mean? So I guess we can start. We'll start. Can we show the first image? This is an image I pulled from the trailer. It's from the opening. And so we have Tom Hardy, who plays Eddie Brock, who is making breakfast. He's making breakfast, but he also has Venom tentacles that are helping him make breakfast. He's clearly like overwhelmed by having his buddy Venom there. But yeah, so I was combing through and I was trying to find anything that I thought seemed like, what does this mean? Like, is there anything in this image that we could say that, maybe it hints at something else? So I don't know, John, do you see anything that stands out in this image that we think is like kind of interesting?
Other than how sloppy he is, that guy standing back there.
Right.
Weirdly lit considering the lighting and the rest of the scene.
I barely noticed that. It must have happened so fast. Yeah.
Who
So
photoshopped that.
For
Cody,
listeners, there's a man in a robe pouring milk into a glass with a blender, and there's cereal everywhere. And in the background, there is a picture. John,
it looks like it looks in the background. Jared Leto is in the back of the apartment for the movie. So I'm wondering if maybe he's a roommate. Maybe Michael Morbius is like a roommate or something. It flashes by so quickly in the trailer that you're gonna barely miss it. Again, I had to go through this trailer 7 or 18 times to get all of these stills. But it's when you see everything together, you're like, it must truly hint at another one. So let's look at the next image here and see if we can find something. Justin's got to move out of the way. Okay. So Justin, do you see anything that's like interesting about this movie or about this still? So what we have here is we have a detective, and he clearly doesn't like Cletus Cassidy, who becomes Carnage, and he's like reading a newspaper about what's going to happen to him. Does anything stand out in this image as like strange or something? Like maybe there's a clue
like a wanted
here?
poster with Ryan Haley on it.
A wanted I do see the wanted poster. Yeah, I do see that.
And then Jim Carrey or something, and it's I'm kind of still blocking it.
You're right. In the upper left, look at that. What is that?
He's got I think 4 cheekbones.
I think what that might be is the movie poster for Chapter 27, where Jared Leto plays Mark David Chapman. That's interesting. So that tells us that in the universe of Venom, the film Chapter 27 exists. That's wild. So, I mean, what could that even mean there? So now we know that we have potential roommate for Eddie Brock, Michael Morbius, and we also know that Chapter 27 exists in the film. Okay, this next one I think might be a little bit easier. Okay, so here we have a still of Woody Harrelson, a great shot of him as Cletus Cassidy, or whatever his name is, who goes on to become Carnage, and he's imprisoned in a psychiatric facility, and it's set on death row. But it does look, what is that? It looks like in the back. Lindsay, do you see something in the back?
Is he selling perfume? Is Jared Leto selling perfume in the background?
Oh right, I didn't even notice that. So behind behind Woody Harrelson, maybe he has a visitor coming to visit him. It looks like it could be Jared Leto. So it makes me, raise the question: is Michael Morbius visiting Carnage in prison before his death sentence? What does that mean? It just raises so many questions. But yeah, okay. So let's next one. This next one took me a while. Because I knew there was something here. I was in the Morbius forums, and I knew there was something here. So, Lindsay, so we're looking at the first reveal of Carnage. He's somewhere, and it's real dark, so you can barely see shit, because that's the way they make movies now. And so, Lindsay, do you see it? Is there something? Do you notice anything?
I can't tell what I'm looking at. I don't know what it is. Are there shadows? Are there shadows in the light? Is that no?
Oh. You're talking about the backlight there. What is?
Yeah.
Is there some? You're right. There is something there. Cody, can we enhance? Cody, can we enhance it? Oh, okay. It looks like.
It's so stupid.
It appears to be Jared Leto, dressed like a king for some reason. Wild. Look at that. Yeah, you can barely make it out, but you have to wonder what's he doing back there and why?
What is he doing?
And why is he dressed like a king? So many. I mean, this is jam packed. This is our last one. We see Mrs. Chen. You guys obviously don't. You haven't. If you haven't seen the film, you don't know. But Mrs. Chen is a delightful reoccurring gag. Eddie has a wonderful relationship. We discover in the new movie that she has a relationship with Venom as well. Fantastic. She runs her convenience shop, and I noticed something here. Does anyone see something interesting in the shop that maybe...
this one looks normal to me.
Yeah.
This one looks normal? That no one see anything?
That tiny hand behind her head.
The tiny... Oh, there is a tiny hand. Maybe it's Jared
You
Leto's
swing
hand.
by the bodega, you get some soda pop, you get some gum. You said you get a Jared Leto head.
Oh, you're right. Up at the top, we see on the top shelf, hidden next to some jars, is Jared Leto's fake head that he made when he went to the Met Gala that one time. So we know the Met Gala exists in the world of Venom 2. This is wow, that's incredible, guys. So yeah, I mean, this trailer already feels jam packed with all kinds of Morbius stuff, and I can't wait to see the rest of this film, because I can only imagine this is the first trailer too, guys. You think about all the other stuff that's going to come through. So it's pretty exciting for, I think, all of us, right, Lindsay?
Yeah. So wow, there's one more. Oh, I was reading.
There is one more, James? Did you hide a Morbius somewhere in our frame? See if you can find the Morbius Easter egg hidden somewhere in this image right now.
I don't see it on mine.
See if you can find it. Maybe it's somewhere, but where is it? I think I may have spotted something.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, so, it's just really exciting, and I think this is such a great way to drum up some hype. I encourage anyone who hasn't seen the trailer, go watch the trailer, but, honestly, this stuff flies by. I had to frame by frame to catch some of these moments, but they're there.
Impressive.
Super excited. Yeah, Andy Serkis is clearly a Morbius fan and wanted to get as much into Venom, Let There Be Carnage, as possible. But that basically concludes this week's episode of Mounted for Morbius, guys. Thank you so much.
Wow.
It was a learning experience. Pretty
I
exciting.
learned a lot.
Oh, scared me. Wow.
Yep. Then there he is.
Wow.
He was again.
And with that brings us to the end of this episode of the Funhaus podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining me, hanging out and chatting, helping me spread the word that is Morbius. Any final thoughts, guys?
I'm so glad I got to be here for that.
I learned a lot about Morbius. I still have questions about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'll find out from somebody.
Yeah, someone's definitely going to tweet us and tell us. Don't worry.
A lot of
if you
people will.
if you misspoke, someone's definitely going to tell us. That's the beauty of the crypto market. It's self-learning. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We have some fun stuff coming up this week, actually. we are doing a live event on Friday. Murder from the Top Rope. It is an original role-playing murder mystery. We're going to be in studio. We're going to have costumes. We're going to be in character doing all kinds of fun stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to check our social channels, see where you can get your tickets for that, because it's going to be a super fun thing. We're going to do a Q&A afterwards. They're going to be meet and greets, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, anything else? What am I forgetting? What's coming up? What am I forgetting?
I mean, we got a couple of fun videos coming up over the weekend. We played Ranch Simulator, and there's really funny moments in that. Hijacker Jack gameplay, and then the fishing tournament continues on Monday. So
yeah, go check that out for sure.
Yeah, full ass weekend, full ass content.
Full ass content. Well, thank you everybody for watching, listening, and supporting this podcast. We will see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.